Hi guys and welcome to the channel. Uh, John Hunt Racing Pigeons. Just a little bit about myself at first. First started racing pigeons as a young lad, 14. I raced for 2 years with me father, and I joined the armed forces. So I was away until 2005. Then it was about 2014. My friend, a lad called Brian Thorpe, he got his allotment and I was going down there and the bugs started coming back. So I ended up persuading my dad and we got a loft on the allotments at Billy Mill, North Shields. It's Tynemouth North Fed, who flying Section 1 of the Up North Combine. Brilliant fed at the time, sometimes up to 2,000-3,000 pigeons, some red hot competitions, some of the best flyers in the Up North Combine. And I really enjoyed my time. It was about 2000 and I think it was 19, I packed in and I walked away and I never went back for unforeseen reasons. In hindsight now, I wish I hadn't done that, but that's life. So moving on, enough about me. What topics and what's the channel going to bring? Well, what I'm looking to do is bring a range of topics which I'll break down into videos. People have the comments so we can all help each other and hopefully get some winners reported. So here's a few of the topics that we'll be going through. Feeding, how to feed a pigeon, which is easier than people think the way I've done it, but people complicate things sometimes, but that's for another video. Breeding, how to rear the perfect young bird. I think a lot of people make a few mistakes with breeding and getting their young birds over all at the same time, and I've got a little tip so you can get all the young birds over all at the same time. So that'll come on the breeding video. Pairing the racers up. When I found best to pair so you could get a season out of them. And I think a lot of fanciers make the mistake of pairing up too early. The treatments that I used to use, a lot of people will disagree with this, yeah, but obviously they got tret and jab for paramyxope and paratyphoid, and they got tret with a high spectrum antibiotic for 10 days while sitting on eggs. Cankered before they got paired up and cankered during when they paired up and cankered after the young birds are about 2 weeks old. But we'll put that into another video as well. Some of the other subjects, hen systems. Now I've got a really good hen system that a friend taught us about, a very good flyer, North Combine. And the system that I got off the lad, it made the cocks look shabby, to be honest. Sometimes I would get 10, 12 hens before a cock, but that's another thing. Cocks, how I raise the cocks, and with no put some input in and with no learn something. Lofts, what conditions my lofts were and how I got ventilation in, how I got ventilation out, etc., which I think is very important. Also dust in lofts, which I think is very important. Young bird racing, something I loved. I always enjoyed racing the young birds, and we'll be going through all aspects of young bird racing with the videos going forward. Young bird sickness, the worst, the dreaded young bird sickness. The season I packed in, we got it that bad where we couldn't get the come home from a 20-mile chuck in less than an hour. It was that bad. And we had really good success with young bird racing the 3 seasons prior to that. So we'll go in depth into young bird sickness and see if we can get the bottom of it and how it can be treated and how we can go forward with it. Motivation. Now I think motivation with old birds is the key to winning. People go on about feeding and how they feed an old bird and what they should feed an old bird, but there's 2 things I think that win old bird races: motivation and health. Now if you haven't got them 2 things, you're winning nothing with old birds, in my opinion. But we'll see if we'll go into motivation for the pigeons on a further video in the future. Exercising the pigeons. How long did I exercise them for? Did I split the young birds? How long did the young birds exercise for? And anything to do with exercising the pigeons. Training. Now I think this is massively important. Every top loft I've been to has trained their pigeons. Now I think it's not a case of you have to, because I flew against a lad called Alan Kelly. He flew in Whitley Bay. Probably the best pigeon fancier I've ever knew. I flew 20 yards away from him, and I used to learn off him without speaking to him, just by watching his routines, when he's let his pigeons out, when he got them in. I used to clock if he had them together for a weekend, because he would let them out for a bath together. And I learned a lot off Alan Kelly, and I respect Alan Kelly a lot, and I think he's one of the best flyers Tamworth North Feds ever had, to be honest. Hydration of pigeons, how to keep your pigeons hydrated, and which is a massive thing. If you send a pigeon dehydrated or a race, well, you've lost before you've sent, really. Recuperation. Now this, I think personally, is the biggest thing in any pigeon racing. You've got to get your recuperation spot on, so the week after the pigeons are recuperated within a day or two, and you can get them ready to go for the week after. So there's just a list of a few things that we'll be covering on the channel. I just got notes here. This is why I'm looking down. I'll be doing loft visits, so I'll be going to people's lofts, sitting them down, asking them about their systems and how they feed, how they motivate, everything like that, and hopefully have a look around with the lofts with the permission of them. Podcasts. Now, I've already been in touch with a few very good names and good breeders who would come on a podcast, and it would be really good for the questions that I'd ask them, to try and extract as much information as I can out of them. And the last thing, which I've had loads of questions about, is what pigeons did you race? Well, we went to Dave Hawkins. It's basically Mark Evans pigeons, which Dave's got the best of. Now we've got 5 breadwinners. Now them 6 pigeons founded our full family. There was 2 of them, Dam and Great Dam. Dam and Grand Dam of 2 fed winners, 1 section winner. We had a hen that bred 5 cocks that all bred winners. These are all off Dave Hawkins pigeons. And then we bought 1 Herman Custer cock. So we put a lot of Dave's pigeons that we bred to stock. We bred some pigeons off a pair of Dave's, and we crossed them all in. And from the word go, they won. So that's what the pigeons were won. But I'll go further into that in the pedigrees if I can find them. But the results spoke far more than a pedigree. And the last thing, pigeon racing is simple. Fanciers make it hard. And as we go through these videos and we talk about things on the channel, I think everyone will realise how easy pigeon racing really is. Personally, pedigree pigeons, I agree, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. However, also the apple doesn't always land in a good spot. Good pigeons come for free. We paid £50 each for them pigeons off Dave Hawkins as youngsters. Now Dave handpicked 2 and says if they don't breed you with us, I'll give you your money back. Them 2 pigeons were the 2 pigeons that were damning Grand Dam of fed and section with us. Unbelievable pigeons. And if anyone who's thinking of starting pigeons or want to cross something into their pigeons, I think Dave Hawkins and Mark Evans is your man. And hopefully I'll be in touch with Dave and we can get him on a podcast at some point, or I'll go down and visit his loft. I'm just going to leave that video there for now. To be fair, this video, I was a little bit nervous about doing it, but it's done now. There'll be plenty more to come. And if anyone's got any topics they want to cover, just leave it in the comments and we'll cover that. Now, thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you all on the next video. Thank you very much.